Hey everyone, welcome to Beauty in Our Culture. And today I have one of my greatest friends, my comadre, Linette Rodriguez. She has been such inspiration for my life, for many of my friends' lives. And today we have her here. We just had a recent Instagram live, but as we all know, sometimes Instagram can fail us. But we figured, why not do it again on Zoom, where you can trust it. Zoom, you cannot sponsor us next time. Hashtag. People were reading, like, I know that I usually post the Instagram post right away, and a lot of people were just like so inspired by our talk that I was like, you know what? You actually gave the idea, like, let's just do it today. And thank God your husband, kudos to my cousin, Mr. Jose, was able to give you a little bit extra time to kind of do this again. And I'm so honored to have you on board. So thank you. And can you introduce who you are and, who are you?
Hi guys, my name is Linette. I am a mom of 8 and I currently live in East Stroudsburg and, just doing mom things.
Mom things, living your best life. Oh my gosh, Linette, we have so much questions and people are just so eager to know about you. Especially, shout out to our family, the Rodriguezes, Quesadas. They are on the Espina. They have been on since the Instagram started, Instagram Live. So we just want to talk about, like, your Fiat, which is your yes to your calling, in your faith and what you do with your life. And just kind of elaborate, what you do on a daily basis. Like, what is a mom of 8 kids under the age of
15. My oldest is 15 and the baby is 4 months.
4 months. And you're just 32 years old.
32, gonna be 33 next month. So, I mean, honestly, my day begins with, Mom, what's for breakfast? Right? But I'm all over the place. We'll eat breakfast and then half of them want to go outside and play. The other half wants to draw or do some computer game or, I don't know, a bunch of random things. So as long as they eat, I'm okay. Right? And then the day just literally takes me wherever it goes. So some days we're basically inside most of the time because they got busy playing downstairs in the basement or etc. But then most of our days, now that it's nicer out, we're outside. We're either taking walks or doing some random thing on the outside of this house. Because Jose, all the time, every day, wants to be outside cutting this, cutting that, cutting this. Hence how he almost lost 2 fingers. But
I know, you just told me about that. I was super surprised that this even happened.
Yes, that's why my blogs have been on pause because
you just recently started blogging. How long ago?
2 months ago.
2 months ago. Wow.
After everyone has been attacking me. So here I am doing everyone's work.
Oh man, they've been wanting you to come out with like so much content, right? They want to see what.
Yes.
They want to see how you do it so they can learn, I guess. I mean, because I know that I always send you a blog, like, Linette, get on it. But a mother of 8 kids, I mean, how can you have time unless you, like, don't sleep? Which
basically, so I said to myself for the blog, I was going to do a blog a month. But with June being a little crazy, that didn't work out. But I said that because I didn't put out a blog last month, I was gonna probably put out 2 this month, to kind of like
give more.
It's gonna be fun content. It's gonna be my birth story of Ezra and some Father's Day fun. Because I didn't do a Father's Day post for Jose, not because we don't love each other no more. It's just we actually really enjoyed the day, and I really did forget to post. But he's such an awesome dad. I wouldn't be able to do this.
I know. I think that, like,
without my baby.
I loved it. Like in the live, you were just like so adamant about how true it is to be like connected with your spouse and how you have to be selfless and also like just dedicated to the relationship, and that's why you're able to kind of cultivate such a community, because you are a community. I mean, like, when I go see you, we go out to church, to mass, and we're not rolling with half the squad. We're going with all you guys.
Full squad.
Well, right now it's 10 of you guys. So, like, it's hard enough to get someone just to go to mass. Imagine how amazing it is to witness you, to bring out everybody.
We
These
get there like 15, 20 minutes before mass, and it's a lot of, all right, guys, within the next 5 minutes, mass is going to start, and everyone needs to be on the quiet library behavior. And they understand. The younger ones still kind of sort of have a difficult time adjusting, but kids like to copy.
Yeah.
So the older ones, we do very go very hard on the older ones. Like, guys, you guys know better. You guys know how to act in church. So you lead, like we were saying during the live. I lead by example. Like my kids, I'm their example, and we try our best to kind of live our lives as how we would want our kids to see and live their everyday, caring for people, being kind on a constant. And we always say it, like, we don't know everybody that we cross paths with, and you don't know if they're having a rough day or whatever. So be conscious of how you treat others, because like I said earlier, our mantra here is treat others the way you would want to be treated. And it's literally a repeated golden rule here every single day, at least 10 times a day, because someone's being mean to the other one, and I'm like, do you want them to do that to you? All right, so don't do that to them.
Get it together.
Yes, it's a constant redirecting in this house, but at the end of the day, I feel like when we go out, they make me look good, because I don't have to constantly tell them, or like, guys, really? Do we not know? But because they kind of like get it together when we're outside. So I thank God that my craziness happens within these walls, and everyone else acts accordingly out in public and makes me look good. So I take it for what it is.
Amen.
I take the chaos here for the peace out there.
You got wisdom today, girl. You are full of wisdom today. I'm telling you, I received everything, and I'm continue receiving from you. But one of the main questions that people were just like so intrigued by is that, as a mother of 8 children, a young mother at that, so like, how do you give time to each kid? Like, how do you make them feel loved and feel like mom is here, mom is present?
Whoever grabs me first. No lie, I know people do ask this all the time. Like whenever I randomly meet people outside, like at parks or whatever, how do you do it? Like, how do you make sure that they all feel loved? And I'm like, whoever grabs me first, and then it just falls down. So, for example, if today Lucas grabbed me first, then throughout the day, everyone gets their moment with whatever it is that they're doing. Ava's taking up drawing now, so she'll randomly come and show me her drawing, and I'll pour all the positive vibes in her, like, wow, girl, you so good, you so good.
She loves
it. Yes, her love language is words of affirmation.
I need her get along, Linette. Like, let's remember that, okay?
I know. So
same person.
you guys are
Okay.
the singing and the this and the that. Yeah, same person.
Like, your aunt always does that.
Yeah, because you guys are both thumb suckers.
I was.
Ava too. Ava made it.
She stopped?
She stopped during quarantine. So Ava is a graduated thumb sucker.
Pull it off.
And I know, big. It's huge. Like, it was rough for her. It was really hard. We did a lot of prizes and all this other stuff, and she made it. At 2 weeks, she got a prize, and then at the month mark, she got a big prize. She got an iPod, and she is living it up with her music. But
She's always singing. You better believe it. That girl's always singing a song. God bless her.
all the time. So literally, it's whoever grabs me first. But throughout the whole day, I'm constantly being pulled in every direction. So if we're outside, Zoe's been doing awesome on her balance bike. So she'll come at 50 miles an hour, and I'm like, "Woof, girl, you're gonna be a speed racer!" And she's there, like, yeah. So it's literally the way it works is whoever grabs me first, and then it just goes down the line, little by little, throughout the day. People just grab me, and Lucas will grab me for Goosebumps. He's into Goosebumps right now, and I'm like, oh, I remember that episode. That was so good. And he's literally like, really? what happens? I'm like, wait, you gotta watch it. I can't ruin it for you. So we'll sit there and I'll randomly catch pieces of the episode. So he still feels like I'm there, but I'm still like either at the sink or doing something, but I'm doing two, three things at once. Multitasking is a mom's best thing.
Wow, that's so great. So you just whoever comes first, but you always make sure they always are getting some kind of attention, which is
Oh
so
yes, every single one of them. Sebastian from YouTubes to memes, and Isaiah from memes to just randomness, because the child is random.
I love
But I'm here for the randomness, and it goes down the line. Ava with the drawing, whatever. Lucas with the goosebumps. Noah is kind of sort of like the chill kid. You know Noah. Noah is super chilled. You put him in any environment, and the boy just blossoms in whatever it is. So if they're playing outside, he's outside riding bike. If they're watching a movie, he's there on the side watching with them. If Lucas is doing some math computer game, he's there like, you know.
very
Zoe, she's literally Ava's shadow. So whatever Ava's doing, she's kind of like following behind, being her number one supporter. Whoop whoop. Malachi is just Malachi. The
you know
child is just.
it was funny because like my friends were over and they were like, "Oh, you favor Malachi," and I'm like, I just can't get mad at him. Malachi's my godson, by the way. For all those who are going to be asking me, I have 3 godchildren and I love them all the same. However, Malachi is just like he's just a like I can't even
I
say
know you can't explain it.
like he climbs on the table and he moves the lamp and he's looking at you like look at me, and he's so darn cute that you just like you can't like correct him. That's why I was like Jose, just his father, would be like, I can't, I gotta pull away because his cuteness it overrides every emotion in
Yeah,
your
so he's a little bit of
he
a
knows.
little bit of a troublemaker right now, but they all went through that stage.
Yeah,
So it's like at this point, they're kind of sort of seeing how far they can push and see where their limit is.
yeah,
So it's normal for me to constantly have to redirect Malachi during the day because he's the one that's like, oh, so I can't climb this?
whatever.
Oh, so I can't touch this? Oh, so I'm constantly like, no, Malachi, bájate de ahí, Malachi, ven aquí, Malachi, no, eso no se hace, Malachi, So Malachi is the most repeated name in the household right now.
I taught him all. I taught him all. But I mean, también, like your children are just like super independent. Like when I go over, I sit there in awe. They do laundry. They go get their own food. I mean, we're talking about the ages from 5 to like 1. Like the younger ones are just so independent. They brush their teeth. They pick out their clothes. They get their shoes. It's just like this like routine thing going for them, and they excel beautifully. And I have to commend you and your husband, which is Jose. Like you guys have such a great foundation that is just so beautiful to see. And that's why every time any of us hang out with you, we're like, you know what? Maybe I can have a family of 4, maybe a 5, maybe 6, 7, 8. Like you give us inspiration. I know that we spoke about that a lot. That people are always like so in like they're scared to kind of like want a family right now. Like our generation, we're so like timid. Like, okay, no, I want to travel, I want to live my life. Like I don't know about kids right now, like forget it. But like you guys have just continuously shown that to us, and that's why everyone's like dying for you to do a vlog or for you to do stuff on the internet, because people are just so passionate about what you do and how you live out your life so radically, and you're so about God. Like those who really know you, or those who see you here and there, but like they know that you're rooted in faith. You have such a great community, like Father Agustino and you. I know that you guys are very cool. Father Malachi, like recent priest. Like you have such a good group of people, me, that you really have like you know how to kind of keep yourself going and miss being so far away from like the city, but you also know how to like kind of like, can you touch base about how faith has helped you being a mom? Because people were really interested, like how does she do it, like how does she bring God into it, self-care, how what is her her niche, like how do you find God through all the stuff that you're doing, because you're moving 24/7.
Oh yeah, definitely. But I find God in my kids. I mean, honestly speaking, if you don't see God in children, I don't know where you would see him most, honestly. Because I mean, kids, they just love so freely and so like, honestly, like with my kids, I'm constantly like, guys, really, 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 and yeah, it's not all like beautiful roses and rainbows here. I have to constantly, tell the kids, like, guys, you don't do that. Guys, come on, really, you know better. You should know to pick up after yourself. You're adding more to my list. That's why when you say they're so independent, is because we kind of push the kids to independency, because at the end of the day, we're so big that we can't just be constantly picking up after 8, 9 people all day long. It's almost like we all live here, we all share this space. We all need to take care of one another. You see, sometimes I cross sandals or sneakers, and you don't see me calling your name 1,010 times for every little thing during the day. I don't. I'll grab them and I'll move them. But there's gonna be a moment during the day that I'm gonna be like, "Can you move that for me, please?" Because we're all living here together, right? So we do push the kids on being independent. They know how to make themselves. They know how to use a toaster. Isaiah knows how to make eggs. Sebastian also knows how to make pancakes, eggs, and stuff on the stove. I tried my best to kind of sort of like teach the kids basics in the kitchen. When it comes to the older ones right now, because I mean, Ava's kind of sort of like starting to show interest in it. I don't like to push things that don't call their interest, but I do tell Ava it's important for everyone to kind of sort of be able to live a life where you can take care of yourself. I'm not saying that you're gonna go take care of a family of 20, right? But you also have to know that if you go away for college, you know the basics. You know how to wash your own clothes. You know how to take care of yourself. You know how to shower. So right now, again, we do push the kids to independency. Where right now, Noah, who is 5, is learning how to shower on his own.
Aw.
Zoe is still like, she wants to do things by herself, but I'll tell her, sure, 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 go in, start, and then I'll finish. So I'll let her feel like, oh, I'm doing what the big kids are doing, but I go in there and make sure everything is clean and stuff. But I push independency because that's a big help for me.
Yeah.
So when I'm sitting down breastfeeding or folding clothes and someone needs something, they can get it themselves. They don't need someone to come open a juice for them or a water or anything, because they technically know how. So you're correct. My kids do know how to do a lot of things by themselves. And to touch base on Father Agustino has been like my 100% concrete, putting it all together in one of my relationship with God. He kind of sort of makes sure that I don't drift too far. Sometimes life does get the best out of everyone. And but I know how important and how big God has been in my life. So I tend to not drift too far. If I forget to do a rosary or whatever, I'm that's fine. I forgot the rosary for today or whatever, but I will definitely have prayer somewhere throughout the day, whether I'm feeling a little burnt out during the day, I have to take a bathroom break. I'll do 10 Hail Marys and I'm like, God, please don't make me freak out on any of these children. But yeah, Father Agustino is like my reminder, like he's there, he's alive, and he is with you
Mm. I
in
also know
every
that
step.
he's been with you since like your like wedding day, right? Like he also has like been able to baptize all of your kids, and I know Ezra's next. Ezra's 4 months, and
Yeah,
Father will be celebrating his baptism as well.
yes.
Cool is that? All your
I
kids
know.
special.
Listen, my kids love Father Agustino like he's an uncle.
Aw.
They get excited when he's coming around. Father Agustino doesn't make it all about like God, church, prayer. It's almost like, oh, what are you guys into? And he'll sit down on the floor and watch whatever they're watching. Yeah, so he's not really like a priest to my kids. He's like a Theo type thing.
You
And he shows my kids love, and my kids right back.
the
It,
church needs. We have to know that there's like relatable people out there to like count on. Especially with kids. The best.
yes, exactly. So I feel that Father Agustino has also been able to give me that open door for me to allow my kids to, like, look, he's a priest. You could talk to him. He's cool. He's whatever. Like, it doesn't feel like that rigid, like, relationship that we grew up, like, going to confessions with a priest that we don't really talk to or know or anything like that. So I thank God every day for Father Agustino, because he definitely gives the kids sort of that relatable experiences where he's like,
Like,
oh,
Jesus
I know.
on earth.
Yes, exactly.
I know. Well,
So
you
Father Agustino and I have been from that retreat, that all women's retreat that we did.
how old were we? We were like babies when we went to that retreat. I was like in Brooklyn, right?
Yeah, it was. And I met Father and, well, at the time, Brother Malachi. Now he is Father Malachi. But yeah. And ever since then, there was something about him and kept bringing me back to him. So I kind of sort of like kept him around as like sort of like my spiritual advisor.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, Jose and I set a date. We were gonna get married. We did pre-cana with him,
How was that?
and awesome. Father Agustino is the best priest to do pre-cana with.
Nice, nice.
110%. He digs deep. He makes you uncomfortable, and he asks all those uncomfortable questions. But they're like the must ask questions that you should be answering or know the answers of your significant other,
Yeah.
right? That you don't think about, and then you're like, oh, damn, like,
This is it.
yeah.
Like,
So, Father Agustino, that's my boy. I love him.
hi, Father, if you're out there, we love you. But yeah, so they were just, that's amazing that you've been able to kind of like always like bring faith and to be kind of your pillar through it all. But let's talk about a little bit about your pregnancies. I know that you are a big advocate for VBACs, which is like that vaginal, what's it called?
Vaginal birth after cesarean.
Yeah. So you have 8 children right now. So if you want to kind of guide us and talk to us a little bit, to those who don't know, how you became a mom, like in your story with that.
So I was a teen mom. I had Sebastian when I was 17. I was pregnant at 16, had him at 17. And that was an insane out of body experience. Like I mentioned before, I was sitting at the doctor's office. My mom took me. I was sick to my stomach. And honest to God, I wasn't even like, this is how crazy it is. This is what I'm saying. Like, I hope that kids nowadays are a little bit more like understanding of how important it is to like be like not like to be abstinent, like do not have sex, because at the end of the day, it's almost like, can you really see yourself with this person for the rest of your life?
Mm.
And most people at 16, 17 are like, I'm not even thinking about that. Like, but you're having, right, these sexual intercourses with these people or whatever, and you're not thinking about what could happen after. Everyone is so focused on, oh, but I use protection. Protection fails. And then what? What are you going to do? And then it's unfortunate because society nowadays, they kind of sort of like, I don't know, I feel like they almost like overly like give everyone this, but that option of abortion is there. Like, you could have an abortion and it's as if nothing ever happened. And for me, I was 16. It wasn't like I was, like I said earlier, madura or anything like that, where I'm just like, yeah, I know what I want in my life and da da da. No, I was 16.
I was sick.
I was, yeah, I was. It was beyond. I was literally sick to my stomach when I got pregnant with Sebastian, and I told my mom. I was really like naive as heck. I was like, Mom, I just don't feel good. Like, I feel like I have a virus.
Oh wow.
Me knowing what I've done, I
Yeah.
still didn't connect the dots. Okay. So here we are. I went to the doctor with my mom, and they asked my mom to step out. The doctor comes back and tells me that I'm pregnant, and I said, oh, so that, oh, okay. I honest, I really didn't know anything about pregnancy. I didn't know any about that stuff. So what what made me have Sebastian, I have no words, because that doctor sold abortion like it was his life type goal, where he was literally, oh, you can have an abortion, no one will ever know. You know, kids interrupt and ruin your life. At this time, you have your whole life ahead of you. And I still remember it like it was yesterday. And I literally looked at the doctor and I was like, I can't do that. Like,
It's not in.
how can I kill another, life at the end of the day? Did I know what I was gonna do after? Was I like, it was everything so fast, so like I was like, I just know I don't want an abortion.
Mm,
And that was it. I literally stuck with my pregnancy. My family was supportive, which
it's
was
good.
awesome, because I think that's rough when you don't have supportive family and you're doing it all alone. But my family was very supportive. They loved me all through. They love my kids, and it's literally, Sebastian was my first pregnancy at 16, had him at 17. Then I had Isaiah, who I was 19, and then Ava. Those were my three vaginals, and then Lucas was my first cesarean section, and that was rough.
I remember.
We didn't really touch base on it earlier, but I went through postpartum depression with Lucas.
Mm.
That was also new, and also a topic that women don't really talk about.
At all. It's like something that it's like prohibited. I feel like this needs
Yeah, it's almost like taboo,
taboo.
is
Yeah.
what people make it seem like. But as a mom, I know exactly why it's so hard to talk about, because you see all over social media and all over, it's like these moms loving on their babies, and then you're expecting to have that same, right? That same feeling, like, oh, I can't wait to hold them. Or, and then the baby's born and you're like, wait, this doesn't feel right. Like, this doesn't feel like how I saw in the videos, and something's wrong with me.
Mm,
And right when you start looking at yourself in that light, you're like, I'm a bad mom. And that's not something you want to tell the
ever.
world, like, right? How I didn't love my baby right away. That's hard. Those are hard things to even talk about. And after having three babies, that I was on that full blown birth high to go and have Lucas, it was a complete like kick in my stomach. It was like took the I was like, what the heck is wrong with me? This is my fourth baby now. Like, there's something and I didn't talk about it at the time. I definitely did end up going to the doctor. They did prescribe me antidepressants, but I didn't take them. That's basically where Father Agustino also comes in, because Father Agustino was a constant during that time. And I would talk to he would pray for me. We would pray on the phone. I didn't need the antidepressants.
Amen.
Like, God was 100% carrying me through that time.
Mm.
And then Noah and Zoe were repeated cesareans due to the once a C-section, always a C-section. And with Malachi, I learned by that time, I was like, there's no way I'm going through another cesarean.
Yeah, you're like, I'm done.
No way. So I did. I learned a lot. I met people in the natural birth community. I had my friend, my midwife, Erin. Um, she's she's really what I owe all my knowledge to, because she was 100%. Yes, she was my midwife, but we became really good friends. And with that friendship, it blossomed to her kind of sort of telling me everything, because she even said to me, like, you should just be a midwife. You're freaking awesome. And she would,
Box. I was like aspiring doula.
yeah, yeah, so she definitely pushed me to educate myself, to how educated I became to take on a vaginal birth after three cesareans. So a VBAC after three C-sections. And I had faith in my God that he was going to literally carry me through that labor, and he did, with the addition of Jose being there 110, because that labor was a little hard, but it's also because you're still on the edge of fear, where you're like, am I going to be able to do this? Am I going to be able to actually vaginally give birth after 3 C-sections, because doctors tell you right off the bat that's impossible. So I think I was riding that fear line majority of the time during my labor with Malachi,
Yeah.
and that is what made my labor longer.
Mm.
So with Malachi, I was able to labor. I labored at home the whole time by myself with Jose. And when I started to feel like I was starting to hit transition and stuff, I told Jose, "Let's go. We're going to the hospital." Went to the hospital, and I
So wait,
literally
hospital?
5 minutes away. Yes, and I literally had Malachi in the intake room.
Oh my
The
God.
doctor telling me that I had 40 more minutes to be fully dilated. And I was like, "No, I'm gonna start pushing soon." And she was like, "No, sweetie, it just feels that way." I was like, "Okay, you're gonna sweetie me. Like, I haven't had a bunch of babies before, but okay." So I let her walk out, and I told the nurse that was doing the paperwork next to me, I was like, "I have to push." She was like, "No, no, the doctor said 40 minutes." I was like, "Ma'am, I'm gonna start pushing now. So I don't know what you're gonna do, if you're gonna catch the baby or you're gonna run. I don't care. I'm pushing this baby."
Baby out.
And I did. I pushed the baby. The doctor comes running in, brushing her gloves on, and I had Malachi at the hospital just because, being the first vaginal birth after 3 cesareans, I didn't want to be a little too risky.
Yeah.
And I did that. And then with Ezra, was my, I got this. God made my body to do this. And I had him unassisted on my bathroom floor.
Ooh, girl.
And they caught his baby.
I know you mentioned that like every day when you were like, preparing for this birth, because you were studying, you were like, you know what, if this was your midwife entrusted you, you had doulas that were around you, but you felt it in your heart that you were like, you know what, I'm going to have this baby at home and hopefully all will go well. But you studied, you prayed, and I know that you said you always walk through a certain area in your bathroom and you felt a connection to a certain area, right?
Yes, yes. So God was definitely full blown in this pregnancy throughout. There was a constant battle of, am I really gonna do this by myself at home?
Yeah.
Like, can I do this? Can I do this? Can I do this? And he would just randomly, like, for some reason, every time I walked into my bathroom, there was this, like, I would stop right before I got to my toilet. And I'm like, why is there like this pause? I didn't even realize I was doing it till after a few times. I'm like, there's like this pause, like right by my sink. I don't know what the pause was for, obviously, prior to me giving birth. And God was showing me, like, this is where you're gonna give birth, right here. Right here in your bathroom, in this spot. And I swear, it's like I can't even explain it. It was so surreal that he was showing. I was so worried this whole time, right? For this, during this pregnancy, for this birth, and he was just showing me signs throughout the whole time, like, you're gonna be fine, and the baby's gonna be born right here, and it's gonna be just you and Jose. And it was, and for some reason, you know how sometimes like you see something and you're like, nah, I can't believe it. Like, it's not true. It's not true. Like,
It's a good.
like there's something that's pulling you away from it.
Yeah.
Definitely was what was happening with me. And that's when I reached out to Yenny, and I had Yenny bring me some positive.
We love you, Yenny.
Yes, Yenny is awesome. So I had Yenny literally talk me through some of my fears.
Yeah.
I was able to release some fears, and I swear, after I released those fears, I went into labor. My water broke at 5:20 in the morning. By 6:50, the baby was born. Right where God told me he was going to be born.
Dude, and you're telling me that my cousin, Mr. Rodriguez, he was he on a chair? Was he kneeling? What was he doing?
So when I started getting my pushing contractions, he was holding my body up. So midway through that push, I was like, oh, this baby's coming. Like, I felt the baby, like he was crowning, he was coming. And right when I was done with that push, I knew that the baby's head was already out. So I literally go, babe, check the baby. He was like, what baby? I'm like, the baby, he's already out. And literally he's like, what? He comes around and he's like, oh yeah, that's the baby's head. So literally we had Malachi's potty. We were not prepared for seating for Jose at this point. And he sat on Malachi's potty just waiting for the baby. And he literally grabbed the baby and just bloop, right on my chest.
That must have been one of the most, oh my gosh, like exhilarating, miraculous moments for any human to experience. Like, and God entrusted you guys to live that out, because you hardly see that. You hardly see people like,
But let me tell you something. That unassisted birth was literally, it almost like put my cup of faith on overflow.
oof,
Like the amount of faith that I had in God to pull me through that. And he didn't just what people don't understand is like I prayed so hard, so hard every single night for this birth to be as not, I wasn't even asking for perfection. I was asking for a birth to redeem myself from this, like, I don't know, this like being under a doctor's hand where it's like he or she was telling me what I can and cannot do with my body.
mhm,
And it's a body that doesn't belong to them, it belongs to God. And he gave me this body as an instrument to bring life into this world. Why was I so hesitant or so like, I don't know, I just didn't believe that I was able or capable of something that God made our women bodies to do, right? So why was I even like doubting him? And it was a constant, it's like I was telling Yenny, it was a constant fight because I know how powerful and how miraculous God is. Why was I doubting him in this moment in my life when he has proven to me that he is 100% with me from all my other births and from the life that I'm living now?
yeah,
He's been 110 constant in my life. And I am living things that I didn't even pray for,
wow,
right? So it's almost like, why am I doubting him now?
mm,
In this moment, why am I doubting him? And that was my anger because it was almost like I'm doubting someone that has never failed me.
oof,
Why? Why am I doing that? Why am I allowing that negative
a human,
vibe or that negativity into my mindset, into my heart, when I know that I can do this because God told me I can?
oof,
So literally, it's almost like after that night that I went into labor, it was like any other night. I did my worship music. I listened to Waymaker on, you know how sometimes you listen to things and you're like, yeah, yeah, you pick up little, but you know when you actually sit and let the words soak in,
yeah,
and it was like he's a miracle worker, he's a promise keeper. Like it was almost like, why am I doubting him in this moment? And
wow,
I let it go. I let it go. And that that next morning, I had a baby in my arms. Like
like,
he literally, once I was holding Ezra, I almost felt like God was in his face saying, I told you
mm,
everything was going to be fine because I got you.
you gotta believe in me. He's just saying, wow, it's so,
110%. I know that sometimes people are like, oh, it's easy for people, for other people, but God doesn't come through for me. It's just, you have to give it time. Sometimes things just don't happen. It's, you're not realizing what's going on behind the curtains. He's setting things up for you. He's doing work even when you don't think he is.
mm,
And 110%, I see it in my everyday life. I see it here where sometimes I start feeling a little overwhelmed, and then by the end of the week I'll see, the kids running up and down the driveway, and I'm like, that's it. Like just watching them laugh within one another, it just brings like my heart so much joy. But
yeah,
it's like a mom thing because us moms, like, when you see your kids happy, it's like that's what you live for,
yeah,
to bring them happiness.
it's amazing. Wow, thank you for sharing that. It's so you don't, this is not an everyday kind of story you hear. I mean, like, this is something that like, I think God knows who to give what to. Like, he knows that you can handle that, and he gave you that. And it's so wonderful to see. And now in our time, like, people are so against having family, against like, wanting to pursue marriage. Like weddings don't even exist nowadays, and the fact that you are a living testimony to so many people. And even to me, like I always tell you, like when I go to see you and to get away from the noise from New York, like I go spend time with you. And I'm like, you know what? Maybe I'm ready to settle down. Maybe I'm ready to have to have kids. And you're like, take mine. take Malachi. I would. But within all that, within Linette being the mom, Linette being the believer, like what is Linette? How do you self care? How do you give back to the human condition of who you are? Like, like do you have someone? Do you speak to people whenever you're down? Like, do you do a certain prayer? Do you hear a certain song? Like I know for me, like I speak to certain friends that I can, call on, and I speak to you when I'm having like a rough time. I call you out. I'm like, Linette, like I need help or something. Like, or do you bottle it up? Like, how do you get yourself out of that funk? There's so much mothers or even women we get so stuck into.
Yeah, definitely. For me, I know it's gonna sound so cheesy, but Jose is my everything. I swear. Like I could even like come to him about himself. Like I'm like, listen, you really irking me right now. Like you're really pushing up on that nerve. And I love that he's so open to criticism, and he hears me and understands where I'm coming from. And even though he's not a mom, he sees my struggle, or he'll see me having a off day or whatever, and he jumps in and he's 110. So for me, literally, I couldn't do this without him. He is my I literally, if I can't like contact you, if it's like a rough time, like it's like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning and I can't sleep, he's there. Like literally, he normally works at night, but he'll text me. It's as if it's so insane. It's like we have this like in sync thing going that he'll text me at work and he's like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, actually, I'm having a really hard time falling asleep. Like I have so much on my mind. And it's almost like he just knows. Like he doesn't even have to be around me. It's the same way, vice versa. If he's at work and I'm like tossing and turning, but it's not really me. It's like something else that's like keeping me up. I'll ask him, "Are you fine? Like, are you okay?" And it's crazy because I think moving to Pennsylvania for us was big because we come from a very involved family. You know that the Rods are very all over each other. So to move from that constant family all around at a constant drop of a dime to being here alone, no family, no friends, no anything, I think it did so much good to our marriage. It showed us that we are a team. We don't need anyone else. We are the ones that lift each other up when we're down, vice versa. So whenever Jose's having an off day or a down day, I can tell right from the beginning. And I just turn on the extra million mode on myself and I don't even ask him like, "Oh babe, grab the baby. Oh babe, grab." No, I'm constantly moving and he'll see that I'm starting to pick up and I'm not asking him much because I want him to be 110. And again, we are human. We all have off days. We all have. So for me, it's really Jose, and then I have you guys, you, Father Agustino, who are like my real go-tos where I when it comes to like a spiritual thing and stuff, for sure. And then I have, Rosemary and Isabel that I talk to also, have my siblings. So I have all kinds of people for all kinds of different
Yeah.
things. So like I know that I'm not gonna bombard, anyone with stuff that I'd bombard Father Agustino with. Like God, like I need help with my relationship with God, right? I'm not gonna bombard Rosemary or. But I think I have a good small circle. I do have a very small circle.
Me too.
And those in my small circle know. how I'll go to the end of the world and back for them. Without a doubt, I'm there 110, however I can be. Um, but for sure, Jose's my real rock. He is my go-to whenever I'm having a rough time. He just senses it.
Mm.
But my self-care, I just realized I didn't mention. I The only thing that I do is chiropractic care
Yeah.
every 2 weeks.
Yes.
That has been God sent to me. Where I told you a few weeks ago I was having some really bad migraines. I think I had a migraine that week that spoke to you. I had a migraine Friday, Saturday. I didn't have one Sunday, but with migraines they kind of sort of like drain you, and I was dragging on Sunday. And then Monday I had another migraine, and Jose literally Tuesday morning called and made an appointment. I went, got adjusted, and my homegirl, Dr. Beth, did it for me because I did not have a migraine since.
Yeah.
And I 100% I stand by chiropractic care. I know some people are a little skeptical or a little hesitant.
All my friends do it. All my close friends, like you, my close circle, they all go to chiropractor. They are dedicated, and I love that. And it's like a great. The reviews are just amazing.
Oh man, you have no idea. I even like had Anita do it, my
Really?
mother-in-law. Yes, I did. I For Valentine's Day, she was here for Ezra's birth, and I after birth, birth does a number on your body.
Mhm.
So after birth, I went and I saw Dr. Beth, and I took Anita with me. And I was like, Anita, like I paid for a visit. And listen, she had a hip pain, and she told me like a week after, she was like, I don't have that hip pain anymore. And I'm like, you see, it works, guys, it works. Do it.
I need to go. I need to go ASAP. But yeah, I want to know if you can just give a word of advice for those two. Like, I know you get a lot of like mothers or people who just got married or maybe that want to have a child. Like, they come to you a whole lot. And I know that we spoke about this during live, but maybe if you could touch base about like, you know, like how do you go within process when you talk to someone that is dealing with infertility, or maybe someone who wants to travel the world, like, oh, Linette, like I don't know if I'm ready to have a family, but seeing you has like sparked something in my heart. Like, what is the conversation you usually have for those people, those kind of, like, group?
So normally, like, the people who do reach out to me about having a rough time getting pregnant, because people just like, I don't understand, you get pregnant so easy, and I'm like, honestly, I love my husband,
Yeah.
and I enjoy my time with my husband, and that's what God gave that to us for. It's like we enjoy our significant other. We love each other on a intimate level
Yeah.
where you're just enjoying that person in that moment. And what happens with people who are trying to get pregnant is they become overwhelmed
I think.
with, this might be the session that I'm going to get pregnant. And so while they're doing it, they're literally like, okay, 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 that's it, that's it. Right now I have to keep my legs up, or I have to do this, or I have to do that. And to 110, I'm gonna be honest with you guys, just love your significant other. It really is the love and the just enjoying that moment.
Quality that comes together.
Yes, so people just become so overwhelmed and they're stressing. Stress is a mood killer, one, and second of all, it stress releases all kinds of different hormones and stuff in your body that probably won't allow, not probably, I know it doesn't allow you to get pregnant. So when you just sit there and you actually enjoy the person and just for what the moment is, that's it. Trust me, I've had two or three people already reach out to me having a hard time. They've been trying for a long time and they're pregnant. One already gave birth, and one is going to be due soon.
Yeah.
And the other one is just just found out pregnant. So I'm like, guys, just enjoy each other. Trust me, it's gonna happen.
And to
It's
trust
gonna happen.
God, right? Like,
That's the process that God made, right? for to bring life into this world. And for all those that are like, oh, I'm not sure if I'm ready to have kids right now, I'm like, look, I'm not saying that you can't have kids at 40 or 45, 50. I know people who have.
You do.
But how is your energy level at 40, 45? Exactly. So I am 32 and my kids cannot outrun me. I will catch up to them and still have energy to run after the others that I need to catch up to. But it's now. Now is the time, right?
Yeah, I think
Where
that's the word that everyone's like really like afraid of the now. Like, oh, I don't know, maybe it's not right timing. Dude, like the pandemic we were just in, like we lost so many people. Like it's let's just do it. Like work on it now. Like work on your dreams, work on your prayers, like your connection with people and don't burn bridges, like reconstruct them, like mend them, like it's just the now, like
yes, I 100% say now, if you guys are even thinking about it, why are you thinking about it? You're obviously at a
it's just
point in your relationship that you could see yourself with this person, right? And to me, I almost think that that children are blessings. Blessings in disguise. We don't know why they come when they come, but they come because God knows why they're coming and has a plan for these babies. I've always said people are like, oh, but I want to travel the world and I want to do this and I want to do that. And I'm like, hey, look, Paris will always be there. Either you're going to be counting pennies now because we're all kind of sort of trying to save and do this and do that and do this, or you can go when your kids are big, right, and spend real money and actually do the really get that 5-star like
dream.
loft or penthouse in Paris, like do it up to the fullest when you know that you have retirement and you have this and you have that. When you're more secure in your money, um I know that I we didn't have a honeymoon, but I mean at this point, that's all I could basically say. Jose and I are gonna be 10 years married this September. And I know. And 13 years together. It's insane.
Wow.
Insane.
I remember
And
your
I've been
house, yeah.
loving that man for so long, but I say, guys, do it. Do what your heart is calling you to do. I mean, what better than now, especially after this pandemic that we are living through, where not every day is guaranteed, and being in quarantine has definitely brought, hands down. You could ask my kids. Like I was telling, who was it? Oh, it was. I don't remember who I was talking to. That Isaiah was we were at the doctor and Isaiah's comment was, I feel during this quarantine we've gotten closer as a family. He's 12, guys. And sometimes I almost think this pandemic happened and it was at great time. I think it was like everyone had to slow down. Everyone. God needed the world to slow down.
And refocus on what's really important, which is your family.
Hands down. Yes, for sure. Refocus and
It says it in the
bring your attention to where it needs to be.
chapter 5 or 7, like once like a little piece of heaven is your family.
Yes.
You mess that up, but it's something within that, like you're born with that in you, like, and that's why the enemy tries to tear all things down. Like my brother
Yeah.
and I, we mended our relationship through the pandemic, and it's a story that I am so thankful for, and I'm so honored that God gave me this opportunity to see my brother and to see him in a different light, and for him to see me, like wow, like we definitely have gotten closer. So
That's
it
what I'm saying. I really do think this pandemic brought a lot of people closer. And I hope that it did. Yes, was it rough? Yes. Is it hard? Yes, because technically speaking, we're still quarantining.
still in it. We're still in it. Fighting a good fight.
So honestly, I think it's just this is it, guys. Think about what you want to do with your life and go now. Do it now. We do not guarantee tomorrow.
So prophetic. And just to like end the night out, I know you were talking, you mentioned Precana at the last live, and you were saying about like like the words that Father spoke to you and Jose. Like, can you just reiterate that? I think
Yes, that
so.
I tell everyone. So when we did Precana, it was literally Father Agustino. I remember we were sitting across the table from him, and he basically, it was the last Precana right before the wedding. We had a meeting with him right before, like I think the day before, 2 days before, and he looked at Jose and he asked us the question, "What do you think your purpose in life is?" Right? He started that, and as anybody, you'd be like, "Oh, I mean, I don't know. I haven't really thought about it, or I haven't really put too much mind to it." He's like, "Well, when you get married, you're coming as a couple asking for God's blessing. And when you become married, your life goal is for Linette to make it to heaven."
Wow.
So now you're living your everyday figuring out, like, how can I assure her road to heaven? Like, it has to be like stamped, like it's not, I'm going to heaven. So how are you going to make sure that I make it to heaven? Right? And then he looks over to me and goes, "And your life goal is to make sure Jose makes it to heaven.
Wow.
So what are you going to do every day to make sure that he makes it to heaven?" Because at the end of the day, the base of a marriage is selflessness. It's not about you. It's about your partner. If you see your marriage like that, where it's like, what can I do to make you feel good right now? Guys, this is literally our life goals. In our God kind of sort of put us on this earth to exude kindness on all levels, which is what we tell our kids on a constant. You give kindness and kindness will come back to you 110%.
Yep.
Like, it will be on a random person that you wouldn't expect it. And they're going to show you an act of kindness that is going to make you smile and say, "Wow, you saw God in that person." Right? So that's what I tell my kids all the time. And it's literally what we live every day here is be kind to one another. You don't know if your brother woke up in a bad mood because he had a really rough night due to a nightmare or something that's been on his mind. Or, yeah, we all live in this house, but we all have different worries and different fears and different. So I always tell the kids, you don't know what that person's going through. Be kind. And hands down, selflessness. Our marriage is based on selflessness. I stand by. There are times where I want to be selfish, right? Everybody wants to be selfish. And then how do you feel after you've been selfish and you know that you could have done something to help someone or make someone feel better? Then you're sitting there, you're like, "Damn, I'm such a crappy person. I should have definitely done that. I probably would have felt better." Yeah, because I think people don't realize how happy we get when we help someone.
I know.
Or when we're that those words that person needed to hear, and we were the instrument that God used to bring those words to that person. And you're sitting there and you're like, "Wow, I feel good that I made that person feel good." Man, there is no money in the world that can pay for that feeling. So I stand by Father Agustino. Listen, till this day, 10 years married, and Jose still remembers that day like it was yesterday, because he remembers, my life goal is to make sure you get to heaven. And I'll look at him and I go, "And my life goal is to make sure you get to heaven." How are we gonna do that? But it's constant. It's constant. Telling you guys, you invest in your marriage, your kids will grow up and your kids will leave and make their own families, and you are left with the person that it all started with. So make sure you love on that person on a constant, because they will be the ones there after your kids leave and make their own families. So,
or in other cases, you might become a monk. Father Malachi said he'll leave Malachi his outfit. So
the habit.
have it. Just FYI, guys, my godson was born on one of our greatest friends' birthday, and they're both on the state. They have the same name, so what a coincidence.
Same name, same birthday, and same number.
Same little attitude. They're like
Father Malachi was the 7th, right? He was the 7th.
Yeah.
Just like Malachi.
Born on 8th.
I know, it's incredible, guys. I have 1,000 different experiences and stories about how God has listened.
Reminding you of how loved you are and how your story is meant to be heard. So Linette, as the night ends out, where can my friends meet you? Where can they write to you? What if someone is in doubt of maybe starting a family, or maybe they, want to get out of their comfort zone and talk about like maternity stuff, or maybe words of hope that you can give from your story?
Oh, yes.
Where can they contact you?
Definitely my Instagram, Linette_Rod, and I have a blog that's still coming up, and literally message me, whatever you need. I am here for anyone and anything. I have people randomly message me about random stuff, and I'm glad that they confide and they feel, that trust, and that they could confide in me and trust me that I'm not gonna go and give them bad advice or spread their business. Listen, I am here.
Not you.
No, it's not me. Definitely not.
Well, I'm so honored that you said yes to the Fiat series, and this is the last week. I'm going to be posting this on YouTube because it's exciting, but I'll also be posting a piece of it all over Instagram. So friends, check us out, subscribe, and spread the good news, man. God is alive, God is hope, God is love. And thank you, Linette Rodriguez, for just speaking to us, sharing your heart. You are a gem that needs to be heard. So I love you, comadre.
I love you, girl.
Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you soon.
Love ya.
Love you. Bye.